One way to measure the advance of spring, nature's season of fertility, is by counting tiny snouts. And a prime location for that kind of creature calculation is the New England Wildlife Center in Weymouth. Lots of birds will be coming, but right now, orphan baby mammals, helpless and without mothers, are pouring in. Divided by lifestyle, they are cared for round the clock by experts who not only know what to feed them and how to feed them, they know in advance who's coming to dinner and when they'll be arriving.
The first wave of wildlife is always squirrels.
Dr. Greg Mertz, director of the center, has been stitching up chipmunks and splinting hawkwings for decades, long enough to predict the rhythms of the wild.
Usually St. Patrick's Day is the time when baby squirrels start to come in, and shortly after that, raccoons. And it varies a little bit from year to year, but it starts with the squirrels, cottontails, raccoons, and then as we start to enter May, we start getting baby birds.
As many as 5,000 animals are treated here each year, everything from coyotes to turtles to osprey. But
the obvious things, the most common things, are the ones we most commonly see.
That means squirrels, and plenty of them. At the moment, there are 18, with room for perhaps a dozen or two more. Each is identified by a different color nail polish on the crown of his or her head, and each is charted individually. Since they feed the babies a commercial formula every 2 hours, interns and staff members can't help but choose favorites. What caregivers cannot do is something very difficult for any animal lover. They must prevent the patients, who need to go back to the wild, from bonding with them. With the squirrels, that's easy. The animals can snuggle all they want at the beginning, but right around the time their tails plume, at about 10 or 12 weeks, they become like rodent versions of Greta Garbo. They want to be alone.
She's starting to get more squirrely.
It's trickier with raccoons. They get attached and stay attached.
The gregariousness of the raccoon means that the baby raccoons can get very oriented to people, and even when they pass through puberty, they continue on being associated with people.
Not a good idea for any of these animals who will, if all goes according to plan, be released back into the wild. So special hard-hearted precautions are taken. Hungry baby raccoons are tube-fed. And even when their bottoms are rubbed with a warm, wet cloth to stimulate evacuation, it's businesslike. Warmth and cuddling come only from each other. Not all the animals here can be returned to the wild. Falco, the red-tailed hawk, has sustained a severe wing injury. Given his limitations and his gregarious nature, he will remain as an education animal, teaching kids in classrooms about wild birds. Another admission is a rare osprey. The fish-eating raptor is recovering from a gunshot wound, and though he refuses to eat on his own, there is hope he'll leave here on the power of his own 2 wings. So the staff continues to give him fluids, antibiotics, and pureed fish. And they prepare for another overlapping wave of wild orphans.
Well, they took some honey from a tree, dressed it up and they called it me. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Everybody's trying to be my baby.